Bill Burnham.
This they offered, so you could step up and look at your gas tank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. I didn't know if that was something to do with the pump. Or...
It's over on the table there. They made a reusable oil.
Ah, yeah.
Washed out a screen.
Yeah. And this is the...
That's for the turbo. Here's the new in the box gear reduction starter. Like it says on the decal, it gets 73% more cranking power.
Yeah. Reservoir for the
This
hydraulic.
is for an M, and this is the universal one they put on all tractors.
Okay.
This, you took the belly pump out and you buzzed this up in there if you didn't have one.
And you said these are for...
These are for the dry air cleaner. This is for an M, a 450 or Super M, and this one's for an H. They didn't have the technology back then to make the filters good enough, and all of a sudden they were wrecking motors.
Yeah.
So they recalled them in about 6 weeks it was only. And then they made these adapters And this was a special, like a zero weight oil that was unusual back then, that you put in the oil bath air cleaner.
Yeah.
And you put this on for pre-cleaner. But they wanted all these pipes back, so that's why they're so hard to find.
Oh, okay. I imagine a lot of them got tossed or...
Yes. They had to get smaller for the carburetor and bigger on an H.
Yeah.
And then there's the pulley shifter that they put on M's. This is very hard to find. You had the 25V mower. If you wanted to mow in overdrive, they had to slow the mower down, so they had a smaller pulley.
Okay.
That's an M&W exclusive.
Yeah, of course.
They had two different, well, they were the same thing, but their pattern was getting so wore out, their wood pattern, they just filled these in, and the later ones didn't have any numbers.
Okay. Did Heisler make one as well? Okay.
Altogether different.
Okay.
This is something that not many knew they offered, but this one underneath on the drop, this one here, that pin that came out, you know, you just had to screw a bolt out. Well, you put this on, you just give it a tug and it fell out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to sit there and...
Yeah, lay on your back and try.
Okay. And this is the
This is the 9-speed for an M.
Yeah.
The good one. And from here on is all M&W. This thing fits up on top of here. And they had to make, this is the overdrive, they had to make this shorter. And then to get the fourth to work, they had to machine that or make one that was flush.
Yeah.
And they tell you that you got to have 10 thousandths clearance. I don't know what you do if you don't. And that's how it ran. But they used it.
Yeah.
And this material is the same stuff that Caterpillar uses in their gears, and it just is tough as nails.
Yeah. I know that. I remember them saying if you put the live hydraulics on a M, you had to change out the drive. Was it the drive gear? If it didn't have hydraulics on it before, there was a gear you had to change out because it wasn't the case hardened.
Yeah. Well, they made disconnects. You know, when you were in overdrive, this was running 1100 RPM.
Yeah.
And that just wrecked the belly pump. And they started out with this, you could shift it outside. And
okay.
Heisler was upset because they were offering the same thing. So they come up with this idea. You pull the cotter pin and then just drop this key out and then disconnected it.
Yeah. So they were competing, M&W and Heisler were.
Yes, yes.
And there was nobody else really that other than them two that
right
did aftermarket parts and
not like this.
And the pistons don't.
Well, this is the first one they came out with. This was this flat top in the early 50s. And then they came out with a step head, like Heisler.
Yes.
And then about 56, they came out with the turbo dome. And this is if you wanted spark knock, you put that in there.
Okay.
And then they offered 3 different styles. This is what most M's have. And then this is the 5,000ths, and this is the 8,000ths altitude.
Yeah.
This is for a 350. Here's an M flat top like the H that they came out.
Yeah.
This is for a 560. There's quite a knob on that.
Okay. And they offered the sleeves as well.
Yeah, they had a special. They called it jet black sleeves or whatever, and they were impregnated with Teflon. They said they broke in better. This is their high lift rocker arms. They claimed you got 1.5 to 2 horse. They shortened up this right here and they changed the geometry. Now they're doing that in the Lunamum ones.
Yes. And the Venturi there.
This is when you put the stroker kit in, you got an M&W Venturi.
Oh yeah.
And you got a fuel jet that you could read the paper through.
Okay.
This is about half again as big as an M.
Oh gosh, yeah.
This, oh, where'd it go? Yeah, they had a, when you put the pistons in an H, they had a carburetor kit. You got a bigger Venturi and fuel jets, and I got that new in the box. Here's the different governors. Here's the
yeah.
laminated 4-weight. Here's the last one. Pinless weight. They call it the rocket governor. Thompson.
Yeah.
Thompson made all these governors. M&W never made anything. They just sold them.
They just sold it.
Yeah. And here's their first one they had to make up. And they had like international 2-weight.
Yeah.
But they had a bronze bushing in here that didn't wear out. Yeah, all the parts, if you look at it, it says TG on it, Thompson Governor.
Thompson, okay. I didn't know that.
But the Heisler, that's down here. They did a lot of different things too. Here's the international speed control. There's a lot of difference there.
Yes. Yeah.
They made it shorter. And then they used pins on their spring.
Okay.
Tightened up everything.
Yes. Yeah, that is a. I got a 300. It's got a little bit of a sloppy governor. I've got to do some work on.
Plus, they give you a longer handle with a knob on it. So you
Yeah.
didn't buy this throttle at the top.
And the crank here.
Yeah, there's the stroker crank. You went from 5 1/4 to 5 3/4.
Phew.
And they did a damn good job. I've taken them to balance them.
Yeah.
And the machine shop says, well, it was perfect.
Man. You got a belt buckle here.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's got a, well, not the buckle, but the
Dynamo.
Yeah.
Here's Elmo Meiners' personal hard hat. He put the decal on upside down, so the hand is upside down, so he knows it's split in.
Oh yeah, she was showing me the article.
Yes, the Antique Power did. And there's already using parts, I guess. Where that came from. Here's all kinds of literature. I got about 400 pages of stuff.
Yeah, I was looking through some earlier. Yes, Governor.
They made a cartoon book about the Super Snoop. Now, I don't know. I've never seen another one like this. This first farmer dealer, he had that. He was a friend of ours. Freddie, he would go to crack his head. He overheated and running the courthouse.
And getting all, yeah.
Yeah, the M&W guys went to work and solved the problem.
Friend of mine, he missed out on one, and that's pretty neat.
No, Freddie's running good and cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good marketing.
And then I got 2 of the show things.
Yeah.
If you were owned by International, you could not sell that stuff.
Okay.
You know, the regular international stores with the, like they were all
It's
made
like
up.
it's like modifying your car today with you avoid the warranty.
Yeah. You know, this was the first M&W show they had in 1953. Dad and this farmer dealer went to it.
Yeah.
And then Dad had just got back from Korea, and he had bought a Argus camera that could take color slide.
Yeah.
And he took a bunch of pictures, and this is Art Warsaw, and these are the 2 tractors they had hooked to the tandem. And I had them converted those slides to photos and expanded them. So they were pulling 514s with the 2M. You talk about pulling. I don't know if you've ever plowed alfalfa with roots, but that is something else. You know, you're ripping them out of the ground.
I can imagine, yeah.
And then this is that first Big Four, they called it. They were demonstrating it too.
Yeah.
And here's the local
300.
international dealership with a 300, and they couldn't keep the front end down, so they put the mechanic up front.
That's pretty neat. It will pick your front end up on it.
And this is a good story. The guy that brought these tractors down here, we got to be good friends. He's hauling our grain, Larry Ipers.
Yeah.
Him and his girlfriend were, their show was in Indiana. And, well, back up, Dad, I was bummed about high school. I was a freshman. Dad said, let's go have fun. Let's go to the M&W show. So I skipped school. Anyway, he took a picture, this Larry did, and I was walking, that's me when I was 14.
Okay.
But this is the one they called Bertha. I don't know if you've heard the story. It was
No,
in the Red Power, you know. Farmer Sam, he would go up and down, and it was all choreographed with Orion Samuelson. After the pull was done, he said, well, would you like to pull? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So he'd hook onto the sled. That's when men jumped on, you know, every 10 feet on
Yeah.
each side.
Yeah.
And he'd go all 50 feet, and he'd stop, you know, and Orion, what's wrong? And something's wrong. Well, he'd open this hinge on here, and they'd let out 2 pigeons. And then he'd shut it, and he said, wait, we'll try it again. So he started moving again, and it's still not right. And he'd open up the radiator and pour in Falstaff beer. That's the only one they found that would foam all over. And then
Yeah.
he put that on, and away he went. And he'd go to 300 feet, people were piling on, turn around, and he'd come back with more people coming on. These things are full of was mercury. That said the tractor weighed 19,000 pounds. Good. Yeah. And they had, this is Bertha, they had a special slowed the transmission down. They were running at 2,500.
Yeah.
And it had 128 horse. In the 50s, that was unheard of. But everybody stayed to the end of the tractor pull to see Bertha. There's the sign that's Gramps there.
Yeah.
That I, you know, modeled the one I got. They had one on each side. I didn't make 2.
Yeah.
And here they are, checking out the walnut gears. They hauled the transmission of that poor tractor down in the basement of the elevator, put the walnut gears in there, and this is the motor off of the furnace for the stoker coal, and it all worked. There they are in the basement, putting them together.
This was something standing with.
And then here, you know, this was first Elmo and Orion Samuel, 1960. Wow.
Well, most of the stuff on these. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's this H here pulling 3 bottoms alfalfa.
When you did your fit.
That's
That H right there.
Yeah, the H right there.
But has 9 speed.
Then here it is, he was pulling the sled. They were trying it out, see if it wasn't official yet.
Yeah.
And you talk about they have people here, they had people then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is birthday earlier, before they put all the weights on it.
Yeah.
The remote control. They had a way that, like a radio on it with tubes on it, and somehow or another it would shift gears, and Farmer Sam could punch a button like it would start up.
Just go change it.
And they put a turbo on it off a truck on an MD, and it had over 90 horse, and they scrapped that idea. They never tear the tractor to pieces.
There's only so much that rear end can take.
Here's the 560 they did with International, did the 806. They bored it out to a 301, and they were just ripping with that. This is the year those air filters came out.
Yeah.
Here we got a 450 that was pulling 514. They had, I don't know how many, 7 men for more weight. Then they had Ranchero Ford that they were running around with. I wish I could get some of those 8mm film. That's at Elmo Meiners' farm, that show.
Okay.
This is a bad picture. It got fuzzy when it moved, but this is a sled, and they were trying to stop the tractor. There was people climbing, they couldn't get any more people on there. And then they made a 4-wheeler with Woods and Copeland. They called it Anchor Boy.
Yeah, there you go. You probably remember all of them.
Well, M&W had a power show at Saybrook, or South Barrowsmith.
Yeah.
Down in the
Here's the first dynamometer.
The
Yeah.
only water you could have, they had a
They were
pump
tested
there.
it out on
Had-
Grams,
had
the
to
tractor.
wood
Yeah.
that ran to the water tank, and you just ran it down at the old hammer, you know, it's went
Sure.
by.
Yeah. Yeah.
M&W Power Days.
Yeah.
They made a stupid thing, they called it a vertical mulcher. It chewed up everything, blew it down, and this is like a big chisel plow. It opened up the ground like a tile plow and blew all the debris in there. That said it stopped runoff if you had hilly ground.
That's a John Deere.
And that's Elmo Meiners there.
When's the show?
Here he is in his later years. He had a special L-shaped piston, and that made power too in the diesel.
Take it.
Where's this at? Oh, Morris.
Horse.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Food will be
That's-
there at 6.
And that's about the end of that.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Bolted on and or you could put a 450 2-point on an M.
Oh,
You
okay.
took the bolts out of the axle housing.
Yeah, I see.
You know, got this
Yeah.
tractor, so.
That's pretty neat. I didn't know they had that.
They only made about 24 of them.
Okay.
They were trying, you know, we'll put it out there and just nobody bought them. Because
It's
2-point was me, you know, running out. I mean, when they did that, it was in
Yeah.
1960. And International shot themselves on the foot with that thing. I mean, it worked good, but then you couldn't
Yeah.
go buy a John Deere or something and hook it up to it.
Wasn't I think it was Deere that came to them and wanted to buy into it. I think it was, and
Yeah,
they wouldn't let them have it.
they wouldn't let them have it.
And you just think of what it probably would have been
If Deere made the same thing, you know, they would, your implements would hook up.
man. Yeah, the 41 or 41M Weiss got it's. I mean, it's just nothing. There's nothing back there, and it's got that flat PTO.
Yeah.
But
But they even made this here so you could keep the latch open.
yeah.
Bolt it down the seat.
No, give it to me.
Oh, what time is it? I got
Oh.
it.
All right. Well, good to